Campaign 2018 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, Marshfield Clinic Health System, and Campaign 2018 partner Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Echo Reardon of Eau Claire is a Republican candidate in the 91st Assembly District. Echo, welcome to WisconsinEye.
Hi, thank you.
What do you consider the top issue or issues in this campaign, please?
Yes, in my district I consider healthcare, education, workers, and infrastructure as to be the top issues.
Let's work them right down the list. Let's
Okay.
start with healthcare.
Okay.
How do we protect and expand healthcare in rural Wisconsin?
Okay, healthcare is a complex issue, and I'm a little familiar with that as I'm a nurse and a nurse anesthetist. So I see firsthand the insight into this problem. I would recommend no duplication, to have transparency in pricing, to help the nurses and to understand that there's a workforce issue with healthcare in itself, to keep costs affordable as far as insurance, and have no pre-existing conditions.
Does state government have a role in recruiting and retaining doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals?
I think, yes, state government does have a role. What I like to see is personal corporation efforts as well.
When some Democratic candidates say we need a universal health care system, we need Badger Care for all, your response?
No, we don't need a universal health care system. I have some ideas, but I would like to put a task force in place for this and discuss this, but I do want catastrophic insurance put in place. I think a lot of people are frustrated by the high insurance costs, the premiums, and then the high deductibles, and it's breaking the middle class worker. So I would like to see, and we're not even able to even have our own doctor that we choose at the end of the day. So I would like to definitely see an improvement with that, and again, address this as far as no minor payments. So we would pay out of pocket and then be assisted with Chamber of Commerce and state and the Farm Bureau. They have wonderful insurance programs put in place now. The governor's done some really hard work, and the legislatures have really worked hard to start this program, and I think I'd like to see that continued.
State government and Delta Dental have a program that subsidizes dental clinics in some of the medically underserved areas. In the next state Medicaid budget, should this remain a priority?
I definitely think we should keep costs down, and if we do want the underserved helped. So and dental is a huge problem. So yes, anything to fund and help the underprivileged is helpful.
Now let's talk about schools. The current state budget did increase state spending on K-12 public schools. There's a debate over whether it increased it enough and whether there should be another big increase in the next state budget. Your position?
I think K-12 should be fully funded. I think we've put $600 million so far, actually more than $600 million, into the education budget. And I would like to see that put in place again this year.
Okay. The debate over choice, the voucher program, it started in Milwaukee, now it's in Racine, now it's statewide. Do you support further expansion of the choice program?
Okay, look here, we are parents and we know these are tough times, challenging times, and we need to let every parent have an option. Each child is different, and we as parents know that. So what works for one child may not work for another, and we definitely want to keep all of our options available to us.
The impasse in the Capitol over how to pay for highways, bridges, and maintenance. If you could solve it, how would you solve it?
I would broaden the base. I don't believe in raising taxes. I want to keep the burden off of the middle class and workers. I don't want to have taxes burdened onto individuals. What I'd like to see is a task force to recruit businesses, to encourage outside businesses to come to Wisconsin and invest in Wisconsin, and therefore broadening the base.
The debate in the Capitol, some favor tolling. Your position? I'm sorry, some favor tolling, toll roads.
Sure. My position?
Yes.
They have toll roads in Illinois, and Illinois has $1 billion of budget deficits. So tolling is not necessarily the answer. Again, I think broadening the base, what I would like to do is fight for every dollar that goes to Madison and bring it back to Eau Claire. That's another one of my platforms is, I would like to be a pit bull. And as you know, the only difference between a mom with a cause and a pit bull is lipstick.
But you're not ready to raise the gas tax or the $75 that we pay to register our vehicles?
No, I'm not.
Local governments have been living with levy limits for 13, 15 years.
Yes.
Some local government leaders say this hurts their ability to provide local services. Get rid of levy limits, ease them back, or keep them in place?
Well, I'm not here to raise taxes. I know that raising taxes and keep throwing that same thing at the problem doesn't work. It's been tried and done before, and it's failed. It's a failing supposition. So what I would like to see myself as a problem-oriented candidate and to come up with different ideas and alternatives besides raising taxes.
Wisconsin has authorized up to $100 million in school safety grants. Is that enough, or do we need to change gun laws?
That's a good question. I believe safety is a very foundational right that a student should have, as an individual should have. We all must have good safety and feel safe in order for proper learning to occur. So what I suggest is there's a lot of different proposals out there. I don't believe gun laws need to be altered. I believe it needs to be counseling. I think we need to see where is this really coming from. I think it's a social issue largely. And I think we need to really address our youth. I think being involved in a workforce and having a job and being busy and us supporting our children can do wonders in that manner.
A big question in the next budget is whether we should authorize a new state prison. The prison in Waupun and Green Bay are both built in the 1800s. Do we need a new state prison?
We do need to have adequate housing for the inmates. Prison reform, correctional reform, yes, we need to look at that. So I would suggest a task force in that situation. I don't have the budget numbers in front of me, so I would definitely want to look in that further. But yes, I do believe just for safety reasons as well, but also for prison reform.
UW system budget. Do we need to continue the tuition freeze for resident undergraduate students?
I'm a mom, and I have children that go to college, and it's tough as parents. And so I can put myself in that situation. And it's scary for kids who want to go to college that don't necessarily have means to pay for their tuition. So I feel I would like to bridge the opportunity gap in that regard. And what I'd like to see is continuing funding from the state. I think we're headed in the right track. I love the direction Wisconsin's going. As a matter of fact, the UW-Eau Claire has the largest student freshman population yet this year, and over 700 students are pre-med students. University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire is committed to serving the community, and I'm committed to serving the community right alongside them.
There's a big debate in Wisconsin over state tax breaks, state tax incentives to private companies. Would you have supported the Foxconn tax breaks, tax incentives?
So Foxconn has generated 22,000 jobs. 200 of them are coming right here to Eau Claire. They're high-paying, innovative, high-tech jobs. They're good jobs. And as far as the tax breaks go, there's no tax break until a job is created or a shovel in the ground. So I think that's exciting.
There was a proposal floated in August to give the same Foxconn tax breaks and incentives to a homegrown company, Kimberly-Clark. Would you have supported that?
I would have to look at that negotiated specifics of that deal. What I believe are business environment friendly. I'm not a big fan of tax breaks, so to speak. Again, those don't tend to work out too well, but I do believe in business friendly. And with Foxconn, it's done a great deal to our state. Kenosha and that area, southwest Wisconsin or southeast Wisconsin, is growing like crazy. Mm-hmm. So the area there is 15 Lambeau fields for the manufacturing area, which brings jobs and stabilizes the economy and provides infrastructure and provides a less tax burden on the few. So all of that's great news. And if we can bring high-tech, high-paying jobs to Wisconsin, that's great. But to give large incentives, I don't really believe in large incentives. I believe in easing and making a business-friendly climate.
So you think Foxconn will ultimately be good for the 91st Assembly District?
I do, and we're already seeing a difference.
The debate over whether to legalize medical and recreational marijuana, do you have positions?
I believe in legalizing for medical use. As you know, I'm in healthcare, and a lot of our drugs are plant-based. I see patients suffering, and I do want to help. I think we do need to help the chronically ill. And this medical marijuana can ease pain, and I'm for that.
Northern Wisconsin has a methamphetamine problem. What do you think are the next steps that we could take to address that methamphetamine problem?
We do, and I talk with the criminal justice system here in our community, and I do think that we do need a task force out on that. I think we need more education put out. I think counselors, teachers, parents, all need to come together, community leaders, and we all need to bond together and really address this situation hard. We also need to put our youth into a constructive, productive situations. We need to come alongside our youth and nurture them.
With your experience in small business, what is the next steps that Wisconsin could take to help small businesses, not just in the 91st, but across this state, get started and thrive?
Yeah. Small businesses are very dear to me. My father owned a small business, and then I followed in his footsteps. And the regulations need to be lifted. Small businesses need opportunities to thrive. We need opportunities for investors to look at their ideas. We need innovators. We need vibrancy and a community effort. Allow the small businesses to thrive, and not so many regulations, not so many taxes, not so much encouragement for wages. Let it develop through the product and demand.
Do employers in the 91st tell you that we have a workforce shortage in this area?
Yes.
Why do we have it? Are we losing our best and brightest? They don't want to live here? Or your thoughts on why we have the shortage and how to fix it? Mm-hmm.
We do have a workforce shortage, and it kind of does discourage businesses to start. But on the good side of it is we have a 2.2 unemployment rate. So Eau Claire is doing great. Now we need to catch up with ourselves, I think. What we need to do is to encourage and retain workers. And again, if we went out and encouraged students out of state to come to Wisconsin, and encourage businesses out of state to come to invest in Wisconsin, and retain those through loan forgiveness, through tuition reimbursements, through partnering with corporations and the university and grooming students, and then placing those students in jobs that are created here in Wisconsin. Then they'll grow their families. Their children will be more than happy to work at the entry-level jobs and go to school, and we'll get to have family picnics and, you know, what we all truly want. We don't want us to have our youth raised and then go to school here and then leave to where there's a good paying job. We want those jobs to be right here in Wisconsin.
And then last question, differences between you and your Democratic opponent on November 6th?
Well, I think a large difference is that I don't want to raise taxes. I'm not a person that wants to throw money, and the pat answer is raising taxes. I would like to come up with different solutions. So I guess I'm the problem-solving candidate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Echo Reardon of Eau Claire is the Republican candidate in the 91st Assembly District. The election is November 6th. Thank you for talking to WisconsinEye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Campaign 2018 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, Marshfield Clinic Health System, and Campaign 2018 partner Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.